Hello, friends. This is Thaddeus from Going Nerdy, and I am just as stunned as you guys for all of the stuff that is happening to Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. The changes to the crystals, the changes to the GAC are all absolutely stunning and fascinating, but it's left me with a really huge question: is WTF the shipload of content that we are supposed to get? Now, as we jump into this, I kind of want to just talk about some of the changes that I feel are going to be coming, and while saying the shipload of content is actually inaccurate. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Now, first and foremost, when I was looking at this, my first thing that I was super curious about for the dev Q&A that took place on December 2nd was, now that all of this is happening to Squad Arena, what's going to happen to Fleet Arena? Because right now, moving all of those crystals to GAC and moving everything away from Squad Arena leaves a ton of pressure on ships, because now ships and Squad Arena will be the only way for many people to farm crystals. I mean, outside of GAC, which I don't know. I'm holding my breath. I'm hoping that it turns out well, but right now this puts a ton of pressure on Fleet. It does, and arguably, ships have been kind of like the lamest part of the game. So to see this, I was impressed. So the question was, what are the plans for Fleet Arena? Are crystals moving, or are we planned to be moved from there as well, right? So are they making the change, right? Are they going to be adding crystals all the way down, or adjusting up, or what, right? So the answer is, at the moment, no. Fleet Arena will be unchanged when this update launches, of course. So when is the update launch? It goes later on, and I believe it says the 13th of this month. Whenever GAC is supposed to start, that's obviously when it will launch. In the future, it depends on the outcome and what we learn from this set of Grand Arena changes. I would argue, now this is me, Thaddeus, jumping in, I would argue that this could make or break the game, right? This really could be. This is a huge deal. Squad Arena has been part of this game for a long time. Lots of people kind of enjoy it, but GAC is taking that over, I think, and so it'll be interesting. If it fails, it's going to fail gloriously. If it succeeds, it will succeed gloriously and mean the future success of the game, I think. Long term, we'd consider a similar change for Fleet, but there are clearly a lot of related considerations, including fleet scale, diversity of tactics, what new home Fleet Arena would find, etc., etc., etc. Short answer to that response: we're not going to change it yet, but there's always potential, right? Which, I mean, that makes a ton of sense. They're not going to release their calendar of events for their own dev side. For us, they're not. I mean, they'll give us month by month and kind of a quarter by quarter sometimes. But this leads me back to the idea that ships are now more important than ever. And more players are going to be forced, whether they like to or not, to focus on their ships. And, like, what? Why would they force people to focus on ships if a big change or addition is not coming to the game? Now, I got to jump before I go any further. Let's look over this. And it took me a long time to find this. But this idea, shipload of content, where is it at? Oh, and another capital ship? That doesn't count, right? And I agree. Another capital ship would not count. The Executor doesn't necessarily count as a shipload of content. But here's the thing. That's not what they said. Now, it took me a long time to find this. I went through a ton of different posts. And back in April of 2021, on Reddit, SP Crumb said the following to wrap up their post. So it says, even with all the improvements, we're still working on the larger features and big releases. These smaller title updates will target specific areas of SWGOH that need improvement and continue to grow this game for years to come. So they're making smaller changes in the beginning, and we saw a lot of those over this year. As you can see, there's a shipload of changes coming to the game, and I hope you're as excited as we are for the next few months. But here's the thing, guys, and I've been quoting it wrong this whole time. Shipload of changes. They don't say content. Now, if we are talking specifically a shipload of changes, and we're looking out further than the few months that they were talking about, right? A shipload of changes, these characters, a new galactic legend, right? These would be a shipload of changes just here. Now, again, arguing for the devs, if they're thinking full rest of the year, absolutely, then a shipload of changes have come and are now being implemented in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. And I'm excited to see how it goes. I'm excited to see how it plays out. But again, the focus is going to now, instead of being on Squad Arena, it's going to be on GAC and ships for the time being. Star Wars is all about people flying on different ships, and so to completely rule it out of the game doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And to have it as part of the game makes a great deal of sense. Now, there's other things in the game like that I think should be in the game, but that's subject for another video. Vehicles, mounts, that kind of thing. But we also got to jump over here to a leak. Now, the prophet, Herbalist Fist, probably the toughest vegan on the planet, came out with this. He says he's a beta tester. Now, he came out later on and said, yeah, we made the whole thing up. If he made the whole thing up, he is damned good. This is right on the money. So let me read through the post here. But it's this last little bit that kind of like fuels everything. So it says, hey, I have some insider information. Beta tester, big changes to arenas. I mean, GAC Grand Arena Championship, maybe but could also mean ships. Will impact daily score of crystal income dramatically, right? Has it? Absolutely. Also, Qui-Gon Jinn Omicron is supposed to be unreal, which we see, and it does. And he looks amazing. Apparently, they have considered getting rid of arenas and creating some sort of daily tournament type of activity, and then also dividing heavy crystal rewards, or adding heavy crystal rewards to GAC. Again, something that we've seen. This last little bit, and yes, I said that funny. Next capital ship is likely to be Sith with Nihilis. Why the hell do we need another capital ship when we have so few ships as it is? We have so many capital ships that do we need another capital ship? No. We need these other ships. And this brings me to my next point. This. Now, I was looking, at the start of the week when I made my last video and everything was going down, I thought to myself, I want to talk about ships because I saw this video or this post on Reddit. Someone has gone through and they have created a list of very easy, and I say easy as if it were actually easy. Devs, I know that programming and the art department, but the art department stepped up. We can all acknowledge that. Like, all of that takes time. But here's the thing. We have all of these characters that have kits already in the game, right? These are characters that have ships, or an example of Starkiller will have a ship, that just don't have one in the game, right? And there's a lot of them, right? This one is my favorite, the Nubian yacht, having Padme have the Nubian yacht. How dope would that be to have that shiny, brilliant starfighter? That would be amazing, right? And then, I'm just throwing this out there, he doesn't have it on the list here. What happens to the Nubian yacht in canon, if you guys don't know, is absolutely dope. Vader flies it to Mustafar. I think it's Mustafar. And it burns all of the chrome off. It's amazing. But like look at this. Like there's so many ships that could be and probably should be in the game. And as I'm looking at this, just based on these characters, you could easily add 20 to 30 ships with characters that you have in the game, right? Or 4 characters that you have in the game, which would then make some of these characters, like I'm looking at Rose Tico. I mean, granted, the Resistance bomber, she wasn't the bomber pilot, her sister was. And arguably her sister's a much better character. Rose bothers the ever-living crap out of me. She's like emo throughout all of the films, infuriating. Her sister was at least a spark of life. But anyways, she didn't really fly the bomber as much as her sister did. But how cool would it be to give Rose a bomber, or to have her be a character on the bomber, and with all the stuff that's, with her Omicron, it feels like it would be a nod to some of these characters who don't have real love. My other favorite was this one here, Yoda's with R2 there in the back. I mean, how amazing would it be to see R2 for like the associate pilot, the person there on the ship, the helper, for like 5 different ships? I think that'd be dope, right? I think that'd be awesome, because then when you level up R2, all of a sudden he becomes like one of the most valuable, most important characters in the game. But then on top of that, they've got a lot of other ships or iconic characters that should be coming to the game. Now, I'm not just making this video because Hondo Ohnaka and his C-class Starfreighter. I mean, I'm not just saying that, but I wouldn't be lying if that didn't somehow play a role. I'm just sitting here and I'm thinking to myself, there's so much they could and should be doing with ships. If you look at the way that ships are in the game currently, there's a lot of room for improvement. There's a lot of room for development. And the first thing that comes to my mind is look at the arena, or look at the actual tables, right? Where are ships currently, right? Ships currently are on the light side or dark side hard nodes behind characters. And as you look at these characters, what you're going to see is a couple of different things. You're going to see characters and ships. Makes sense, right? They don't always go together. They often don't go together, right? But if you jump over to fleet, you have this as well. And this is what's so infuriating to me, right? It's just, there are 5 different tiers, right? With far fewer nodes. There are 5 nodes, 5 tiers on that first one. And it goes all the way to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 nodes. And these guys don't even have ships associated with these nodes. I mean, I can't believe that they wouldn't put ships on ship nodes. And the more characters that this game introduces, the more characters that are going to be farmed and eventually make it to farmable, right? All of these characters that are coming to the game will eventually be on a node somewhere where players can farm them. Are they all going to be thrown on ship nodes? I mean, possibly. That very well could be the case. But what they could do, what I believe they are planning to do, is to build out the fleet battles and use those upper level battles to figure out where to put new characters. They're going to have to do that sooner or later. There are 9 different nodes, different tiers, right? 9 different tiers from 1 to 9. I believe it is at it's 7. They start getting shorter, right? That's 4, right? They'll start adding to these. They'll give us more tiers for that, and they'll bring them all the way out. They have to make some changes. They have to start using these light side battles, dark side battles, and ship battles, fleet battles, as a way for players to be able to unlock more ships. Now, will those more ships turn out to be, I don't know, something like what we saw here over on Reddit? I think that it very well could be. I would love to see any one of these ships come to the game. Like, any one of these ships could come to the game and be amazing. Like, an A-Wing absolutely could be a Galactic Republic ship, or could have a dual purpose, Galactic Republic and Rebel. That could be for so many of these ships, and it would make total sense. But I've just got to say, it is this post right here. I think that they're thinking about this. I think this is coming. Now, when they say something like, hey, shipload of changes for the coming years, right? They're planning on stuff like this. They're growing stuff like this. They're developing right now. Now, will we see this come out before the end of the year? Based off of this information, probably not. Probably not. Based off of this leak, will we get a new capital ship soon? I don't know. Freaking Herbalist Life or Herbalist Fist. Again, the vegan Avenger. I don't know if he's vegan or not, or even she's vegan. I don't know how they identify. Maybe they don't identify as vegan at all. And if I have offended you for calling you vegan when you are not, I deeply apologize. Deeply apologize. But are they right? Are they wrong? I don't know. So far, everything they've said has come to pass. And I think it's very possible. Now, with that, guys, tell me what you think in the comments below. This is a longer video than I traditionally do, and I'm genuinely curious to know what your thoughts on this are, because all of the signs to me point to major changes coming to ships. They're going to wait till the GAC stuff dies down before they start making any other changes. At least that's the way that I see it. But what do you think? Will we start seeing more ships slowly sneak into the character drops? I think that we will. We got a ton of characters towards the end of this year. I think we could start off next year by getting a ton of ships. But those are just my thoughts. Leave a comment in the section below. Like, subscribe, share. Check out the links in the section below. The first is Audible. Always Audible, ladies and gentlemen. 2 free books, 1 month. You don't pay a dime, but you do help the channel every time you sign up. So sign up. Check out something for the Christmas break. I gotta say, Thrawn Ascendancy, Lesser Evil. You gotta check it out. It is a wonderful end to that prequel series of Thrawn. That being said, additionally, check out the Going Nerdy swag store. Get your Going Nerdy swag. This has been Thaddeus from Going Nerdy. Like, subscribe, share, and as always, my friends, smile and stay nerdy.